Hold up. Turn the speakers up. They call me a black sheep. Now I'm the one they watch. Talking that real life. Talk got the whole chat hot. If it's fake, we don't want it. If it's real, bring it here. Got opinions, got stories. Say it loud, make it clear. Black sheep, black sheep. What you know about that? Black sheep, black sheep. Yeah, we speaking all facts. Black sheep, black sheep. No filter, no fear, no sugarcoating over here. Everybody got a story, everybody got some pain, everybody got a voice. You just put it on stage. TK's Chronicles of a Black Sheep. Let's get into it. Black sheep, black sheep. What you know about that? Black sheep, black sheep. Yeah, we speaking all facts. Black sheep, black sheep. Black sheep, black sheep, black sheep.
Okay, I like that.
Yep.
Nice.
Hey. Yes, thank you. Greatly appreciated. Hello, everybody, on this great hot Friday. We are in this place. It is the first Friday of the month, so y'all know what time it is. It is time for our house therapist, Monica.
Yep.
Hey, how y'all doing?
What's up? Good to see you. I missed you
Good
last
to
month.
be here. I know last time you was on tour. I ain't mad at you, okay? I ain't mad. I want to be like you when I grow up.
There you go.
That's what's up. Well, welcome in, everybody. This is TK's Chronicles of a Black Sheep podcast. If you have not already, please subscribe on YouTube and hit the notification bell so that you can know when we are live. You can also follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and IG. So, kicking off, how's everybody doing today?
Good. No complaints.
I am doing good. I just had a birthday. Amen. 49. Hey. Feeling blessed.
Getting up on that. Look, it's crazy. I was like, dang. When I saw that, I said, damn, Lanika older than us.
Older than who?
Is that right?
Barely.
Well, me.
Barely.
Older than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just by a couple of months. Just by a few months.
All right. Well, you know, I try to drink my water and mind my business.
I know that's right. That's
the fountain of youth. Except the bones be hurting, girl.
Yeah.
Bones be hurting, Jesus.
Yeah, I know. I'm rocking. I have mine going over here too. So yeah, my feet.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah. But then you be running to the restroom. Like,
that
I don't know
part.
what. Yeah.
That part. Make certain the pipe work. That's all.
Yes, definitely. So everybody that's in, thank y'all for joining us tonight. If you saw the intro, let us know how you like the new intro. This is the second week we've showed it. Thank you. That's like, wow. I be going around the house, really be sitting, catching myself, black sheep.
That's nice.
So I be catching myself. I be like, okay, that's what's up. So
like it. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I
love it. So
yeah.
Yeah. Something new, something different. It was about that time. So it's like, all right, let's see what we can do about this right here. Because we need a little something to do. Plus, we needed to add D because he missed the last lineup when we did the last one. So
I missed it.
Bring him on in there so he wouldn't feel like he was left out. So yeah, it worked out. So yes. So y'all gonna buckle up for tonight's topic.
Hold on.
What?
Oh, he gotta get it. What's the fragrance of the evening, brother? What is the fragrance of the evening?
You know, I got a little Bulgari over here.
Okay.
Bulgari, nothing major. Look.
All right.
Yeah, smell it through the screen.
There you go. All right, all right. You know, you ought to do like the people and come up with your own fragrance. You know, come up with your own thing, man. Everybody doing it. I'm seeing the folks. They coming up with their own thing, and you know, you already on tour. You have your merch.
Yep.
I saw you had a book.
Yep. The book comes out. I officially am a published author as of today. The
Amen.
book will be available either tomorrow or Sunday, so be ready for that. And it's funny that you mentioned the fragrance because my signature fragrance will be available next week.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Look at that. See, man, if I get some lottery numbers, hey, I'm retired. I wouldn't even have to worry about nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me know how I can get both.
I got you. Yeah. I'll reach out to you. And we're gonna link up. And I appreciate the support and all the love and all the shout out. And TK, know it's been a journey. She's been rocking with me through it, so we're getting it in.
Definitely. And but
we'll talk more about that at the end. I want to talk about this topic right now.
Have mercy.
So,
all right.
Tonight's topic is accountability and avoidance.
Ooh, I'm gonna sit back and let y'all.
Yes, and I was like, oh, okay. This just popped into my little old mind, and I said, oh, okay. Well, I guess I might have to try to rock with this and roll with it. And once I sent it over to Larnika, she was like, cool, let's do it. And I was like, all right, we in this now. So just going over the simplest of it, and we're gonna let Larnika go on and do what she always do. But accountability is the mirror we avoid until life forces us to look. Avoidance is the comfortable couch we sink into when growth feels inconvenient. So this episode is going to break down the real tension between the two, why we dodge responsibility, how avoidance disguises itself as protecting our peace, and what it actually takes to step into the version of yourself and keep saying you want to be. So, Larnika, let's break down this accountability.
Okay, well, you know, sort of what you mentioned, accountability. We're taking ownership for our actions, our thoughts, our behaviors, how we show up, any faux pas, anything that we have. Basically, we're taking ownership of it. Sometimes we can be in situations where we are not self-aware of what our behaviors are, our thoughts are, and taking accountability for that can be difficult because if you're not, first of all, you got to be self-aware. You got to be self-aware to be accountable. I think that's for the most part. I think just genuinely in general, you need to be self-aware. You need to know who you are, what's happening in these interactions with people. If we're going to put it towards relationships, because typically that's where the accountability and the avoidance show up more than anything else is in relationships. It could be intimate partnership, it could be family, but in some type of relationship, that's what's happening. And people may say things, people may do things. If someone calls you out, because typically that's where the ball gets to rolling, is if you've offended someone in some kind of way, or it has affected someone in some kind of way, and they pretty much gonna call you out. All right, we're gonna keep on rolling.
Yeah, we're gonna roll.
She's gonna jump back in. We double dutching. We'll get on the bus. The double Dutch bus. Hey,
turn the light getting dark. I was like, wait a minute, feel like I'm disappearing.
Now, last time the power went out, they had a storm. This time it's probably a heat wave.
Yeah.
And so I think with that, I think when we are self-aware, when we are emotionally mature, we can take accountability for what we've done, what may have offended, or how we've shown up in situations. Typically when we avoid, accountability, it could be a gamut of things. A person could very well be aware of their actions and what they're doing, but there's a fear of rejection that comes in. Maybe there's shame. Maybe there's some childhood trauma somewhere. Maybe there's some perfectionism, um, fear of conflict. I just don't want to own up to what I've done because I don't want you to look at me in a bad way. Which, if I done did something to offend you, you might be looking at me in a bad way anyway. And so I'm gonna duck out. I'm gonna check out, or I'm gonna blame you. I'm gonna gaslight you and turn that back on you and be like, well, I wouldn't have did this if you wouldn't have said that. Or what about if what I've done is so bad, you did something similar. And so, well, which one is worse? Now, granted, that is a lot of emotional immaturity. That can be borderline, uh, dare I say narcissistic, because people be beating the hell out of folks to say they narcissists. But that could be some of that type of behavior. You know, avoiding attachment, if we're going to go there, is typically people who are working in fear. They're maneuvering in fear. They avoid situations because they're trying to protect themselves in a worse way. They're trying to protect themselves because of trauma, because of um, emotional dysregulation, because of emotional abuse in some cases. Somebody who was supposed to be there for them failed them at some point, and so they were taught that if nobody's going to show up for me, so I might be self-sabotaging some situations because I'm avoiding getting hurt. And typically an avoidant rarely admits to doing anything. It's your fault. I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for you. If you wouldn't have said this or you wouldn't have did this, I wouldn't have said this. I only said this because of this. So those are the kind of the two different dynamics, you know. Yeah.
But I also want to point this out. I love everything that you said, but it's also those situations to where, on the avoidance side of the fence, where people will know that there's issues that needs attention, that needs to be addressed, but they will avoid the professional help that's needed, right? And so it just starts to bleed over into other areas. And I think that's important because even before there's a certain act that's done, there's still a level of avoidance by not even acknowledging that they need to seek professional help. Talk to counselors and therapists and such. And I think that's where it should really, really start, because those other areas, it's just like people just don't know how to deal with certain emotions, certain
Mm-hmm.
actions. And I know it's not always easy to look at ourselves in the mirror, to face these traumatic events again and again. But when you avoid it, right, it
Mm-hmm.
just it just taints other areas of life. So, what do you think? And it's just me thinking about it as you was
Yeah,
talking.
yeah. I think what happens is easier sometimes to play the victim than to be accountable for your actions.
Right, agree.
That seems to be more comfortable
Hmm.
in many spaces. And I think that, and I'm, I always be, Lord, I always just be telling on myself, Jesus. Now, I've never considered myself an avoidant. I've never avoided anything. Once I know that maybe I take too much accountability for stuff that I maybe shouldn't even be taking accountability for, but that's a whole nother situation. But I think like just having experienced trauma in my life, um, in relationships, having toxic relationships and having these things, I can say I saw myself as a victim a lot. And in many cases, I probably was, but I didn't see how I contributed to that. No, I didn't tell people to use me and take all my money, but I had to give the money to them. you
Yeah.
know. And it wasn't until I was in one of these groups. This was a while back. This was before I met my shadow work coach, Sharonda. This was a while back, you know. And
Shout out, Sharonda.
I'm just shout out to Sharonda. I'm just on stuff. Oh, these gold diggers, they done took my money. Oh, they done took my and that's me. I'm like, oh, she was no good. They hurt, they did this to me, they did this to me, they did this to me, they
Oh
did this.
man.
And somebody was like, well, did they put a gun up to your head? Like, did they make you do this? And that kind of, I was like, wait a minute, I'm a good person. I'm a good partner, so I thought. And here I am being used again. And so it's like, yeah, it ain't no good. The dating pool got poo poo in it and all this other stuff. And then there came a point after somebody told me that I had to look at, okay, what is the common denominator in this situation? It's me.
Yeah.
I keep dating the same type of person. What's happening here? Where am I in this? And so that's what had me to take time to start doing the work, because I hated the way I felt. I hated, same person, different, same situation, different person. What is happening? And so now, in my moment of emotional maturity, and knowing that I was in a good situation, my opinion of it, but my triggers and things showed up, it would have been easier had that person did me something so I could play the victim again. It's been a hell of a journey taking that accountability and understanding that this is what happened, and not intentional stuff, but just the fact that this is where I showed up and this is how I showed up, not knowing, not really feeling it in the moment, but after sitting back, being alone, going through this healing journey by myself, not, just healing alone, and not, dating or inviting other people in, and doing the work, comparing the two, it was easier when I was the victim versus somebody who is taking accountability for their actions. And so I can say that a lot of times playing a victim for people is easier than actually taking accountability. Some people not ready for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said a lot, like, and I can relate to a lot of what you said. And the only thing that would be different is mine. It wasn't like the financial being drained, but it's the emotional being drained, because I give myself a lot. I pour so much, and I'm in relationships. I just I pour out love. I give of myself, to where now I'm looking around like, well, dang, there's nothing left, right? And so what you were saying, I felt it, but it wasn't like I'm giving like money and stuff like that, but it was giving of myself. And then when things went sour, I'm sitting there and I'm looking around trying to figure out, like, okay, what happened? Like where did I go? I mean, so yeah, I can relate and I can understand that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have to agree. Just even thinking about that, listening to yours, mine, I can't say mine was financially either. Mine was, I would say, on a level of emotional, and on a level of just giving. Just that, on that level of giving to a point of, hey, you're trying to make sure this person good, this, and they cool on this. They don't have nothing to worry about emotionally, just even just the love, because as the I'm gonna say, us old folks used to say, when you love hard and you're
Mhm.
giving and making sure that this person is good, but when this person is gone, then you're looking like, shit, I didn't gave, I'm way down here and they
Don't even
way
know
up.
who you are.
There's that
Mhm.
severe balance because you were the one putting and giving so much, and now when that's over, you're like, shit, it's like pulling out like the old cartoon used to have when they pulled the pockets out and there ain't nothing, ain't got nothing but a
Ain't
little
it?
lint. That's
Uh-huh.
all you got, empty pockets and a little lint.
And even trying to fix somebody that don't want to be fixed, man. Man, golly, I stuck around for years and years, and man, it just drained me to where, man, it was, yeah.
And that's the thing, people have to want to heal. In order to heal, you have to know what you're healing, and you have to be able to take accountability. Like I said, I think I'm a good person.
I think
I
you're pretty
think
dope
that
too. I think you're pretty dope.
well, thank you kindly. I think that I wouldn't hurt a fly, or like not intentionally hurting anybody, but sometimes things happen, people get hurt. Sometimes we don't try, but we do, you know. And
Yeah.
so even with that, being able to say, like, you know what, I could have done something differently, I could have shown up differently, I could have done something. So I do understand how I've offended you in some way or what have you. And that takes a lot of courage to be able to do that, because for one who has experienced a lot of trauma and have this perfectionist, that hurts like hell to know that I didn't do something right. It hurts like hell. And so it comes a time where you just have to be at peace with yourself. It's like, look, I'm not perfect. I've gone through things. I might not get it right. I might say some wrong stuff. I might do some wrong stuff. But at the same time of taking accountability, what am I doing to make certain that that doesn't happen again? You know,
That's,
where's
I
the
was just
growth?
gonna go
Where's
there.
the healing? That part. Now, if you flip it over to the avoidance, the avoidance. Now, for some people who intentionally do stuff to people, that's a whole another thing. But it's not too different because they have experienced some trauma. They have had some letdowns and some setbacks in their lives. And sometimes people self-sabotage because they don't want to get hurt. And sometimes people hurt you before you hurt them. And that's a
Yes.
whole nother type of disorder right there. And that's
Yeah.
where people, and they don't, and that's where your narcissist and your borderline personality disorder people come into play, because they have these things, and they have built up such a wall, such a fence, such a, it ain't me, it's you. Well, you don't want to be, well, you ain't got to talk to me because I'm fine by myself. And then they in the corner crying because they put on that facade like, yeah, I'm big baddie badass, but really I'm crying like a baby, somewhere. And so, like you said, D, that's where talking to a professional comes in, but they don't see that yet.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
see that, and
And
there's
may not
nothing.
never see it.
They might not. There's nothing that me, you, anybody can get them to see. They have to see that for themselves. You can say, let's, like couples, let's go to couples therapy. Sometimes you have, they're going to shut you up. Like, all right, we here. And if you ask them why y'all here, she say, I need to be here. I don't know, kind of thing, instead of participating. So it has to be an individual, has to get to a point where maybe they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Maybe they're alone. Maybe because these people really do want love and affection. They just afraid.
Yeah.
And something has to be a turning point in their lives when they figure out, you know what, I can't keep doing this like this. I need to get something. I need to get some help. And it's a
Yeah.
journey. It can be challenging, but they can heal from that. They can.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. And I'll even call myself out on the avoidant. Me being avoidant, like you said, it's a level of protection. Because one, I don't like to argue. I'm not the kind of person that like argue. I don't like conflict. So I will avoid something and not even try to get in that space. But one thing I have learned is when you start to avoid something, you can only avoid it for so long before it come back and you have to face the real issue and still deal with it. So it still might turn out to an argument either way. So it's just better just to deal with it head first instead of trying to avoid it.
Yeah. And then you can have some situations where you may avoid conflict, but you are abandoning your own needs. You know,
Yeah.
you want to do this. I really don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it because you want to. And I really had work to do, or I had something else going on, or I felt guilty for saying no. I don't have any kind of boundaries set. So I might avoid creating boundaries and saying no because I don't want you to be upset with me. So now I've abandoned myself and everything that I need to do because I'm people pleasing now. So you
Yeah.
can have it that kind of way. You can avoid setting boundaries, avoid saying no. And that can hurt you because you really need to set boundaries. And if your loved one is upset with your boundaries, then you really have to see what's up with my loved one. Because if I need time for myself, or I don't feel like doing whatever today, and whatever the case may be, why can't I say no? Why can't I have this moment to XYZ? So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of dynamics that go into that. Mm-hmm.
So also, I want to ask a question.
Yes.
Would this be considered like avoiding also, where like I can see everything in you, I can see all your faults, right? But I can't see anything of myself. It don't apply to me.
Mm-hmm. And that's people, like I say, playing the victim. You can point out everything that's going on with everybody else, and some of the mindset is, if you didn't do this, then I wouldn't do what I'm doing. It's all on you. If you stop doing it, then I wouldn't do whatever I'm doing. And that's that emotional maturity level. That tit for tat. People can point out everything that's wrong with everybody else. What the Bible say about seeing the speck in somebody else's eye, missing the whole plank in your own. That part. It's easy to see. That's that victim mentality. It's easy to see everybody else's flaws, what they're doing, what they didn't do. But did I say or do anything that could have led or contributed to this? Or maybe I should have spoken up, when something was said or done that I may have taken offense in that moment, as opposed to holding on to it to use it for whenever I do something to come back. And I think that tit for tat stuff is very immature. And you see that often when you did this. Well, what about when you said that? But you got this going on. And I've had my share of that on my own. And realizing, like, what, that sucked. That wasn't cool. That's just
they call it keeping the receipts nowadays.
Keeping up with the receipts. Because if somebody said or did something to offend you in some kind of way, that's something that should be addressed. Either addressed in the moment or have an opportunity to come and say, hey, can we talk, later on when everybody cool? Because if you hide and you mad, it ain't gonna go over well.
It ain't gonna at all.
And you should be able to have a conversation about anything that was said or done that was offensive in some kind of way. And even if the person, let's say we have a disagreement, I said something that offended you, and then maybe you were holding on to yours to bring it up. Well, what about when you did this? Okay, well, let's bring all of that to the table then. Okay, I said this offended you, and you said this offended me. Let's put it out there. Let's go one at a time. As opposed to trying to one up. Let's just put it out there and see how we can resolve the situation. But a lot of times we just firing back and forth. What about this? You say this, I would say this, da, da, da. If both people are having an issue with whatever that is, put it out there. Let's talk about it. Let's resolve it. Yeah. Let's see what we can do. How can we find a happy medium, or don't do it at all, or whatever the case may be, so we can move past that. And so the next time something come up, it won't be a tit for tat, because now we have an open line of communication where we can talk about our needs. What are my needs being met? Did somebody say or do something? And not to get offended and be on the defense and avoid accountability. Yeah, somebody might have did something that made you feel away, and maybe you did react because they did this, but guess what? You reacted. So take accountability for your reaction, because people could say or do something and you don't have to react, a certain way. Or if you do and you catch it and it's like, okay, that wasn't the best way to respond to that because I reacted. Maybe I could look and do something different. It's all about communication. It's about self-awareness and communication mainly.
One thing I had to learn, and this is across the board, sometimes, and it goes with giving people grace, but you have to focus more on what's been said and not how it's been said. I know that's hard because we want people to communicate how we want them to communicate. Yeah, I want you to say it, but I also want you to say it how I want you to say it, so it's easy for me to digest. And sometimes, It ain't gonna always come out how you want it to, but focus on the message and not how the message is being said.
Yeah.
Because I would completely shut down if you said it the wrong way. I ain't heard nothing.
Baby, that
You
gonna go.
everything you saying is accurate, but I just don't like the way you said it, so I don't want to hear it. I'm talking about myself.
Trust me, I'm feeling you. We driving down the same street. We're driving down the same street, and I had to learn cultural differences.
Mm-hmm.
I had a partner. We had some cultural differences, and so how they may have said some things, I was like, "What?" And had to realize that's not. They didn't mean it in a derogatory way. Being a Southerner is the way that we talk, and versus somebody from a whole different region,
New
they
York
talk
City
they
or
may say it
Chicago.
differently. Yeah, and so it's not that nobody tripping. It's just the way the communication comes, and I think that's another thing too. I think learning the communication styles and understanding that, which comes with communication and taking time to get to learn the person, to understand that, okay, you're not tripping. This is how you talk. I'm not tripping. This is how I talk. Let's find that happy medium, with that.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I remember I had a coworker, my coworker friend from one of the islands, and we sweetest person you ever meet. But man, I always thought she was barking. I'm like, damn. And so I'm responding like, duh. And then one of our other coworkers is married to someone from the same island. And he was kind of, laughing about it like, man, my wife. For a while, I thought my wife was just on me, but that's just how they talk. That's how they are. I'm like, oh, so this my coworker. Okay. So now when we together and it seemed like she barking, I'm like, okay, that's just how they are. She not barking. She just that's it's how they communicate. They not trip. Never nothing disrespectful. Was never like if you start cussing folk out and that's love language. No, it ain't. That's totally different things. Just the way the wording, is different cultures.
And I've also had people feel like I was being dismissive because I'm not way up there barking. I said, nah,
Yeah.
shit, I'm just cool. Like, I hear what you're saying. I respond, but I'm just responding to a level that's comfortable for me. You got to remember, it's this thing called Southern charm that just comes out.
There you go.
Yeah.
What's it?
Everybody's, she know. She already know. Even when I'm mad, I'm still cool and calm.
Okay.
Yeah, put your lip in your head.
She said, who that? Hey, Harper,
Oh,
who that?
boy. That part. Yes, that part. So break it down. I am staying on track, sir. Thank you very much. So in the something I read said common avoidance disguises, saying protecting my peace, procrastination, selective memory, and emotional shutdown.
Yeah, that's possible. That if they don't want to take ownership to it. Now, I guess it's one thing if you're not aware and you might, see other people's stuff. But if you're totally aware and like if you're intentional with something and you just put these things, well, I'm protecting my peace. I don't want to say nothing, or they go silent. My mama would do that, man. Man, that drives me nuts. We in a conversation, you just go silent. I'm like, God damn it, talk. And not because they're trying to process, because that's a form of control. And I think those things that you mentioned about protecting my peace, that's a form of control. Because why can't we discuss, even when we're cool, even like in the heat of the moment? No, because ain't nobody gonna hear what the other one's saying, and things might get said, and in the heat of a moment, it's not a good time to have a discussion about something. You're gonna end up arguing, and then there'll be some other stuff going on. if you have to go to your corners and calm down, cool down, write a note to each other or something to be able to have that conversation, or get a mediator, get it in therapy if they're, if you can't have that conversation by yourselves, have that conversation. But yes, um people will do whatever to avoid it. I'm
And,
protecting my peace. Okay, can we talk later? you know.
and also, it's about knowing your audience, right? You mentioned protecting your peace. Like, if I feel like you just want to be right and you don't want to hear what I got to say, period, after I try, then what's the point of continuing to press and you're not hearing me? Or we can flip it, right? We were having a discussion, and even in that space, there's no accountability on one. Like, I cannot be the only one being accountable in this conversation.
Hmm.
So it's also about knowing your audience, because that's also just protecting my peace. I'm not going to have a conversation with someone who just wants me to see their point and is not trying to see mine, or it's not give and take, or whatever the case is. So, but I get what you're saying. I love what Larnika said. But it's also just about knowing your audience. Knowing who you're engaging with.
Yeah, some people like to argue. Some people don't mind. They
Ooh,
want to debate you. It don't. It's the sky blue. Well, it has a hint of gray. Hell, I don't know. And I might avoid that because I don't feel like dealing with that. And I have some people I've dealt with, like they just want to debate. And
Right.
I'm like, I might give you one word sentences, like, yep, nope, because I done figured out you want to fight, and I ain't got time for
There
that.
you go. You just
Oh,
want to be right. Carry on.
join a debate club or something. I don't know. Get on the TikTok with the
yeah.
people when they be doing that mess, but I ain't got time for it. No
Right.
thank. So with that, it's like, okay, yeah, because I don't feel like arguing, and I know that's what you about.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Perhaps, I don't know. Is there ever a healthy way? Is there ever a healthy time to avoid something? I don't. Perhaps, but maybe in the moment to come back later to it. Like you say,
I think
knowing
the
your
healthy side
audience.
is just communicating. Like, yes, I'm avoiding it, but this is why. So it's clear cut. So I'm not leaving you just wondering why I wanted to pin it. So even in the aspect of now I'm getting uncomfortable, I'm getting whatever the case is, I feel like if we communicate why we are pinning this conversation, then it's healthy. I think it's only unhealthy when we don't or cannot verbally communicate why we want to end the conversation for the moment.
Yeah, I think if you let them. I'm okay. I need to process. I'm getting triggered. I feel like I'm going to be triggered, and I need to process this. So can we talk about this later? Can we pause or whatever the case may be? But on the receiving end, let that person do what they need to do if you want to talk about it. Because sometimes you run into the person that I need to pause and process, or I need to walk away so I can breathe. And the person on the other end might take offense. Well, if they're telling you, I want to have a conversation with you, but emotionally right now it's all over the place, so I need to get myself together so I can be in a more calmer, cooler space so we can actually have a conversation.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times folks run into that because you'll have some people I want to talk about it now, and you got some folks I need to process, not avoid it, and then come back the next day like nothing happened, because I hear that too. It's like, well, we didn't talk about it, and they just came back like everything was fine, and maybe when they processed it, they felt like it was fine. But you got somebody else, you wasn't in this situation by yourself. Your person, whoever you were talking to, you need to give them something because they're still waiting to be able to get their thoughts acknowledged or their feelings acknowledged, and whatever the case may be. So, a lot of times with that, walking away, yes, but walk away to be able to come back and talk about it. Yeah, the person walked away, might have processed it and they over it, but the other person ain't over it yet because they didn't get a chance to communicate whatever the situation was.
Yeah.
Gotta be mindful. Gotta be mindful of the spirit. You know,
Yeah.
relationships, intimate partner, family stuff. That it takes work, and it takes acknowledgement. It takes self awareness. It takes accountability. It takes all these different things for a healthy relationship. A lot of times we have a lot of toxic stuff going on because people don't want to communicate and people don't want to take accountability. And
Yeah.
sometimes people are not given the room to take accountability. People are not given a space to take accountability. You know, I was in a situation, it was like, are you taking accountability? And I'm like, yes, I'm telling you, I understand why my behavior is like this, but then I don't know what else y'all want me to do. I'm telling you my why, and I'm not excusing my behavior. I'm just letting you know this is why I think I probably responded like this or reacted like this. Allow me time to get it together. You know, and sometimes people take offense. I don't know. You know, when that happens, I don't know. But a little grace can go a long way, you know.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was
Yeah.
something I read that said avoidance feels safe, but it quietly erodes your confidence. How true is that?
They feel safe, avoiding people that feel safe. Well, you know, avoidance have a lot of issues, period. So I can understand not feeling safe or some insecurity or something going on there. You know, if I never tell you how I feel about a situation and I'm avoiding it, I'm protecting my peace or whatever these other things are, then how do I know that I can even talk about it? How do I know that a safe space can be provided for me to talk about it and be vulnerable and express all of my feelings if I never even take that step to saying, hey, I'm having issue with this. Yes, we got into it. This is what I was feeling and thinking at this time. And if I'm not allowed that space to be able to be vulnerable and say, hey, yeah, this is what's happening. How can we ever work anything out? How can anything be worked out? Because, you know, although the avoidant may come and say, okay, this is what it is. Are we ready to accept what they're saying? Are we giving them space for that? Even if it was some conflict somewhere, is it a no deal? Is it a deal breaker? Like, hell, bye. Or is it a let me give some space to this? How can we resolve this? What can we do to make this better type of situation?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
It's some deep stuff, child. It's deep. It runs
Yeah.
deep. Mhm.
I'm sitting there thinking,
I
like,
see.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So,
What else you got?
Like you said, huh?
No, no, I didn't hear what you were saying. Go ahead.
I said no. It make you think a little deep there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm mostly like, I'm reflecting on myself.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Okay.
okay, let me see. Does this fit? Does that fit? Does this fit? Okay. There might be a sprinkle of that, a little bit of this. Got to be more mindful because it's sometimes like it's unintentional, right? Like
Yeah.
we may think that we're protecting our peace, but then even in that space, right, we're leaving that other person feeling avoided, right? Or or like we're in a space of avoidance, but their mind is still going, you know. And I think this is where people start feeling abandoned. You know, they start coming up with these other scenarios in their mind, just playing it out time and time again. So I can definitely see that, and that's why I'm like, okay, I just need to be more mindful in that space. So yeah, that's
Oh
that's what
yeah.
I'm doing right now. Yeah.
You know what they say about the idle mind is a devil's workshop. If I am in a situation and I'm trying to communicate to you and you don't want to talk about it or you make up whatever, baby, this mind finna go. Because if you don't give me anything, if I don't know what you're thinking or what is happening, in a situation, it's gone. I might be thinking all kind of stuff, and
Mm.
it could be just as simple as, oh, you want me to do that? Oh, okay, I can do that. But nobody knows if we don't communicate that. I could be thinking the worst, the avoidant is thinking the worst, and it really could be something so simple that both people would be willing to agree to do differently or whatever the case may be. And it could be a simple fix, and everybody done flipped out and did all kind of mess. And it was really something that was so simple.
True story. Yeah.
But fear drives a lot of that. Fear,
Yeah.
because of trauma. People like everything ain't trauma. Yeah, it is.
A lot of
don't
it
be
is.
don't be fooled. It's a lot. And it doesn't have to be the person that you're engaging with that caused any trauma. It's your past stuff. It's your past stuff that shows up. I saw somebody posted something talking about, oh, you gonna say your 5-year-old self caused your 45-year-old self to XYZ. Yeah, yes.
Mm.
Uh-huh. It did. Baby, that shadow is for real. That inner child. And it was a little baffling to me. I didn't comment on it stuff. I'm like, child, look, I ain't got time to be,
Right.
y'all. It's one of my lives. Y'all find out. But all of these things that are unresolved in our lives plays a part as we have grown into who we are today. And when we get triggered by things or we avoid some things or whatever the case may be, if you go and you follow the root of it, it's something that might have happened in childhood. I didn't, you don't think about it. Nobody's like, oh, when I was a child, this happened. So this is why as a grown up, I got this. Unless you've been doing shadow work and you're able to kind of pinpoint that, then you can say, you know what, I do understand why I react this way because my mom, when I was a little girl, said this, or my parents were hard on me, or whatever the case may be. But most people ain't doing shadow work. They just living and doing and doing and doing it and doing it and doing it well. Okay. So when stuff happens, they don't know until you start doing the work. Then you can kind of pinpoint and be like, okay, so let me go back and visit that and let me go backwards to go forward to see how I can dispel some of these things, how I can understand that this is some faulty thinking because of trauma and things that I experienced. Even though that was a long time ago, I carried that with me till today. And if I want something different for my life, I want to change it, I do have to go backwards and see how I can heal that and see where it started. And I do have to use some affirmations, some positive self-talk, some journaling, some meditation, some something, that shadow is real. It sure is. I need to do something to be able to change the story that I told myself all these years because when I was 5, somebody did or said something to me that made me feel like I wasn't worthy or whatever. So yes, it does. It might not be on my frontal cortex of like, yeah, this happened. And I'm wearing this. I'm not wearing it every day. Like, yeah, I got trauma. But it's there. It's there. Child is there. Trust. Trust it is. But like I said, it's easy to play the victim because taking accountability is can be difficult. I think once you become self-aware, once you start doing the work, once you give yourself grace, you
Yeah.
know, I think a lot of times I would think a lot of people who are in avoidant situations or on the defense all the time, I would think they're suffering inside. That can't be a happy place to be. I don't know.
Mhm.
It can't be a happy place to be, especially because of trauma, because they got to this point in life where ain't nobody gonna hurt me. I got my dukes up all the time. That cannot be a happy space to be in. And just think about the pain of staying in that space versus the pain of healing that space. You're gonna be in pain either way.
Yeah.
So why not take a chance on the pain that's gonna allow that pain to go away, to die down, to become manageable, and not every time you meet somebody, every time somebody is this. You're gonna feel it when you're doing that shadow work, but eventually it's gonna ease up. It's gonna ease up.
True story. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. That's what's up. That is what's
It's
up.
a journey. It's a journey, but it's a good journey. Now I'm saying that right now. I'll be in the pillows crying like, but on the flip side, it's a good journey. It
Definitely.
is
Yeah. All right.
because you're
That's what's up.
worthy. Everybody's worthy to
Yeah.
have peace in their lives. Even though
Yes.
you may not feel like it, we're worthy to have peace. We're worthy to have love. Self love is very important. If you feel like somebody's wronged you before, and people do, it happens. You run into somebody, you might have every right to feel how you feel, but everybody didn't do you that. And
Yes.
so when you come into contact with somebody new, they not them people. But sometimes we be so on the defense, we think they are. And that's why you got to
Yeah.
work on it. You got to work on it. Takes
Definitely.
time, takes commitment to self. There's a lot of resources out there. There's therapy, there's shadow work, there's tons of books, programs like this. They got, there's help out there if you want it. It takes time.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you can't. You're definitely not going to be able to heal from something that didn't happen just overnight. Whatever that was then, that was there and for a period. So you're just not going to take one counseling session or do one part of shadow work and be healed and better and it's all gravy. It's a whole process.
Hmm. It is, and it's layers. That's the crazy part about it. It is layers to this thing called healing. When I had my first, I always say my first leg of healing. I thought, okay, I'm good. I'm all right. I learned some self care stuff. I'm doing some things,
Until you got
but
back out there.
oh man, it fell off, and then bam, here it comes. It's like,
Better believe I know it.
I thought I was good. I done effed up some stuff. Okay, let me see how I
Let me ask you this
can
question.
do it.
So
Mhm.
we've been talking about the avoidance side of it, right? And either one can answer this. So the benefits of accountability, like, what do y'all think? Like, let's verbally express some benefits of accountability, of being accountable. What you think about that?
Oh shoot! For one, it'll set
Hmm.
you free. I believe that it'll set you free. It'll give you some peace. And if you are, typically this is in relation to people to give you some healthier relationships. Either you'll know, okay, this person, this situation ain't for me. I need to get on out of here. Or how can
Yeah.
we work through these things? Maybe we bumping heads, but we talk about it and work on it as something that can be resolved and everybody can be good. So I think for your own peace of mind, your own peace in heart, um, you'll be able to work through things, work on things, and understand for what you need to heal within yourself.
Hmm.
Like you say, you can see everybody else stuff, but you got stuff too. And even if everybody did have stuff, they stuff does affect you. It does. So if you walk through the door thinking you was picture perfect, wearing all white, nothing dirty on it, okay. By the time you get finished wrestling with them people, you're gonna be all dirty.
Right. And this is the reason why I asked that question, right? Because even in that space, if there's two people, right, and
Mm-hmm.
both of y'all are not being accountable, right? If you try it, if you be accountable, people see, people catch on. Like, it changes the whole space, right? And it's gonna be a total different relationship. So we can only focus on ourselves. And whoever's listening, if you're in that situation to where you feel like the other person is being accountable, is not being accountable, and you're avoiding, try it. Try being accountable. See how it shifts the conversation. See if it shifts the relationship and just creates a space to have productive conversations. Start right there. That's why I asked. I just wanted to hear it. I wanted to verbalize it. But thank you. That's good. I agree. What you think, TK?
Okay. I think in that space, whew, uh, I think there's a space when you start to be accountable where self-trust kicks in. When you can follow through, you can prove to yourself that your word means something, and that confidence is able to grow from just being consistent in that space.
I agree. I like that.
Mhm.
So you begin to trust yourself. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
In certain
Yeah.
situations, certain conversations, and that's another byproduct of being accountable. Because, well, not to go too far left, but yeah, you begin to trust yourself. You begin to feel like you're a safe person. So, and again, it makes certain conversations easier to have.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You won't be on the defense all the time. You'll be able, I think when you can have a healthy conversation, you can repair things, you can grow. Like you said, it's contagious. That's one reason why I put things out there to help other people. I'm using myself as an example of what I deal with because I believe that healing is contagious. I think that once people, even if you balled up and just fist up and you see people talking about healing and you can, things that they experience resonate with what you might have been experiencing or things that happened to you as a kid or whatever, somebody else can say, yeah, I did this and here I am. I'm just a little country girl from Port Arthur. I ain't nobody, special per se. Like I ain't got the Oprah Winfrey ain't my mama. That type of thing is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if I can have experienced some things and worked on it and work through it and heal it, you can too. Now Oprah was us too. She just got money. And then she didn't put Whitney Houston business out there, child them ghost gonna
Man, just
kill
hook up
her.
all
Okay.
out there.
But you know what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying. We look at
Business.
Oprah because she up there, but Oprah was on the same level with us at some point in her life, and
Yeah.
she was able to get and do everything that she needed to do to be successful. Same thing with us. I like to have some Oprah coins. Okay, shit, where's that?
Baby.
In a minute. But
Yeah.
Show me the
sometimes
money.
people got to see people who are in close distance. You know what I'm saying? To know that, yeah, okay, this girl, these folks, this guy, they had similar stories. They're telling the stories. Okay, I got some stuff too. And if they can go through this healing journey and they can, get books and colognes and, have podcasts with sheep with gold chains on it and do all this stuff, then yeah, I can do it too.
I see what you did there.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. No, but I feel that. And I also think there's an emotional aspect of it because you're able to own your choices, and owning your choices can reduce the defensiveness because a lot of people are so quick to be defensive. And then I think it also help where you're not blaming somebody else because now you're being accountable. So even with that, I think that also attaches to the emotional reactions that you're giving when you start to be accountable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because accountability takes self awareness. So if you are self aware, then you're going to know when I'm reacting versus responding. If I'm self aware and I'm taking accountability, if you tell me I didn't like the way you talked to me when we had this conversation about what have you, and I'm thinking, like, hey, I was triggered, so I reacted. So the next time I need to breathe, walk, do something, pause, whatever I need to do, so I don't react but yet respond because I don't want to offend. I don't want to come off like I'm doing XYZ. So yeah, it makes you it helps you out emotionally. And with that, if I have to, okay, I don't know why I responded like that. Let me go do some soul searching. Let me go talk to some people. What is happening? Why is this triggering me? Maybe I don't really know. And that's where I can talk to somebody and figure out what I need to do for myself in order to, to present a different way to, have a healthier response to certain things. Because sometimes, what people get angry. Anger is anxiety. Anger is buildup. People respond many different ways when they angry. I remember watching what was that? The Good Times. James would be throwing the furniture. It's like, good Lord, and he did something. They was like, don't be throwing that. Type of
James
thing.
had hypertension.
Baby, that shit. I thought hypertension meant angry. watching the good times.
Right.
Okay, he throwing stuff,
Yeah.
but if you throwing your furniture,
Yeah,
you can
something
find
wrong.
a way to do something different than tearing up your
Yeah.
own house.
Yeah.
You can go talk to somebody. You can do something different than tearing up your stuff, so it helps you out in the long run. I ain't trying to tear my furniture up, child. I mean, what? And I don't want nobody coming in here tearing up my furniture.
For
So
real.
we need to work on that self-awareness. Taking accountability starts with self-awareness, and this healing and growth can come out of all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Good. That's good. TK, what you got?
I didn't say my little spill. I think we didn't did that.
We did that. We did that. We
We
did
did
that.
that. Yeah, we did
Agreed.
that.
Agreed.
All right.
It's good
Well, we
stuff.
can.
It's good stuff. Some good nuggets.
Yes.
I want to say something real quick. So last week on the show, man, it was good. We was talking about safe spaces and DA. Our co-host. He's got some things going on. I miss you, bro. But he said the aspects of creating a safe space. Man, you got to be vulnerable, vulnerability, respect, and a willingness to listen, man. And it sounds easy, right? It sounds easy to create this safe space, but a lot of that falls into what we're talking about tonight. Because if you don't have no accountability, or if you avoid certain things, and it is impossible to reside in a safe space.
Yeah,
So it's going to be chaotic and just toxic all the time. So
definitely. Because you think everybody out to get you.
there you go.
May not even be it. You carrying something that happened a long time ago, or
No,
could have been recently. It might not have been that person were having an issue with.
yeah. All right, TK. So I just wanted to say that real quick, and shouts out to you, DA. Praying for you, my brother.
Most definitely. Condolences to Duriel and his family during this time. Y'all lift them up in prayer. Loss of a family member is always not easy, especially when you're very close to the person. So we getting up in age, and when we start looking
Lord.
at our parents and grandparents, if you're still blessed to have grandparents, that eventually time comes. It don't make it any easier at all, but and just sending lots of love and prayers.
Agreed. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Larnika in that yellow shirt. I'm about to go make me some lemonade.
Oh, bees!
Yeah,
Oh,
I
bees!
had a sudden urge for some lemonade. No, I'm just kidding.
I had some
Oh,
earlier while you playing.
bees!
Oh man,
Definitely.
yellow's a good
All
color.
right.
On you. It works for you.
Well, thank you. I'm wearing my high school alma mater. I've just grabbed something out of the closet because I had been doing my laundries. But yeah,
Okay, yellow. Okay, yellow.
A Lincoln Bumblebees,
Okay,
class of
I
'95. What?
Ooh.
That's why I had these bees.
In
I'm
your hair.
always ready. I'm
Let me see
always
the
ready.
bees. Are the bees? Are they yellow? Oh, the bees behind you. Okay,
No,
okay.
the bees in the background of her thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
I
are the
thought you
bees on the
said beads.
shirt.
It was like
But
hair
then that's
beads.
why I was, oh no, not beads. Bees.
Beads.
That's that Port Arthur and accent.
That is.
It's that trill accent.
I don't know if
Yeah,
that's
me.
Southeast Texas or Southwest Louisiana. One of them.
We all together because
I
most of
know.
us have family in Louisiana.
Right across the bridge, literally.
Right there. Oh yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
See. Next time I might wear my Bunky Louisiana shirt. It's yellow too.
I hope you do.
Okay.
All right, TJ. That's it. I'm done crying.
This is
What you got? What you got?
all right. We can go ahead and close outside during our intros. Outros, excuse me, outros.
Okay. I'll go first. Um,
Okay.
for respect of our awesome therapist, Lauren Arnika. But look here, y'all. Man, I've been working on this book for a while now, and it was tough. A lot of times I wanted to just quit, and you know, a few times I did quit in my mind. You know, I quit, but I talked myself into getting back to it. And the book is it is published. It'll be available for purchase within the next day or two. So look me up on Amazon or hit me up if you want a copy. I'll have some copies on hand. I appreciate all the love and support, TK. You know, we've been rocking this thing, and I appreciate you helping me through this, and you know, all those talks when I was crying and emotional trying to get this stuff out, man. But it's here. I basically tell my story about, you know, some of the questions that I had unanswered, you know, from pastoring, from spirituality and religion and all that stuff. And be on the lookout because there's a second book coming out real soon, and it is the healing journey from everything that you're going to read about in the first book. The first
Nice.
one is coming, the second one will be here probably by the end of the month. I'm finishing up that, so please support. I love y'all. Also, I got an apparel line coming out, and I have a signature fragrance. It's a unisex fragrance, so it smells awesome on whoever puts it on. Check me out. Hit me up.
I need to get me some of that.
Um, Also, check us out on Tuesdays. Right here, the Vibe and Logic podcast. Me and TK, we cut up a little bit more. Um, but this is home. You know, this is where it started. So I love this platform. I love the opportunity to sit on this platform, and we're gonna keep growing and go tell somebody about us. Is it
Definitely.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Is
Yes.
it
next?
is it my turn?
It could be.
Yes.
All right. Well, I do want to thank y'all once again for having me here. I always appreciate being here and uh talking about mental health because that is a passion of mine. That's something that is close to my heart. Um Larnica Lavlis, LPCP, LLC. I've been busy this summer. I have been busy. I've been
Indeed.
healing. And I've had some coping techniques that kind of going on some they moving because TK, when you and I met, I was having the thoughts of doing a podcast, and I was like, I don't even know what I would talk about, what I would do. And then when you
Never.
approached me, I said, well, maybe this is what God was telling me. Okay, let's do this. And I've been doing it, and then just I don't know. Sometimes out of the fiery furnace comes some stuff. The phoenix rises, and so I have two podcasts, but not one, but two. We gonna see how that go, Jesus. With Sharonda Barchdale and I, we have healing and shadow work. Now we don't have no set time, child. We just come on when we come on, and y'all catch it when you can.
What platform? What platform?
It is on YouTube. We're on
YouTube?
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Pandora. So check that one out.
How can we find it on YouTube? What's the name of it?
YouTube Larnica L.
Okay.
So it's under my platform right now. You go to Spotify and everything. You can find it that way. Also, the second one is called Meet the Clinician. Meet the Clinician. That's on the same LinkedIn, Larnica Lavlis, YouTube, Larnica L, Spotify, Pandora, Apple Podcasts is there, and then I am interviewing, having a chit chat with clinicians and advocates and people who are doing things to help the community. And so the goal is to break the stigma in regards to mental health and to kind of put some people out there. Because the thing is, we look for therapists, and unless they do have some kind of platform, all we see is maybe what's printed. So we don't know nothing about them. So it gives an opportunity for people who may be looking for a therapist, looking for somebody to learn a little bit more about what they think, how they think, and what was their motivation to get into this field, to be on this journey. Because I think we all on it. The healers and the people who are doing the healing, we all on this journey together.
Yeah.
But thank y'all so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Of
You didn't know we
course.
love you.
Any other
Thank you.
way.
Thank you.
So
Thank
we
you.
definitely thank you, and we always look forward to the first of the month because we know you're
Get
gonna
up,
be
get
here.
up, get up, get up. Yep. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month.
Right. Yes. So
Always.
yes, we are happy to have you here. You part of the team. You know that we've been rocking for some
Always.
years now. It's crazy when you look back and see how far it's been off of
I
just finding you
know
on Facebook.
that part. God be doing some
That's
stuff. I
the
can't
crazy
even hate. Yes.
man. Hey, can't even knock it. I'm like, that's what's up.
Hmm.
So it's definitely been a blessing. Definitely been a
Yeah.
blessing, and thankful for it. So
Thank you,
yes, that we can do this together and still grow these little branches on this tree so
baby.
everybody else is
You can tell a good tree by the fruit that it bears, right?
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
hello, there you go.
Hmm.
So definitely. But one of the things that Larnika mentioned earlier is to give yourself grace. And I think a lot of us miss doing that. We beat ourselves up, we stress ourselves out, we're always in worry mode, mind is always racing, but we don't give ourselves grace. In this journey, you have to give yourself grace because you're not going to
Yes,
get it
Lord.
right the first time. You're not going to get it right the second time, and you dang sure may not get it the third time. But eventually, it all comes together. Give yourself grace. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be hard on yourself like that. Don't say the things that you shouldn't say to yourself, that you stupid, you dumb, any of those things. And don't know that nobody else tell you that either. And damn sure don't believe it. So
Okay.
give yourself grace. So
Amen.
but definitely if you need it, Lord, if you need therapy, if you need shadow work, find you somebody. You know we got a therapist right here. Reach out to her. She will
Great state of
help you
Texas. I
out
got 3
and get you
interns
started.
coming. Come on.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, there you go. So it's resources to this healing thing, and it's not something I'll say you could do it by yourself, but you can't because you got to have some direction, some guidance, you got to have some people because it'd be some rough days. You can't pat yourself on your back. You're gonna need somebody else to just come, just do it for you. So definitely get you some people that one y'all are on the same page, and they're gonna be able to support you, and you can support them to go on this journey because the journey is not easy, but it's definitely better if you got some people to do it with.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
that.
So again, look out for us, me and DJ on Tuesdays. Check us out. That is that new podcast that me and him do at 5 o'clock on Tuesdays.
Central Standard Time.
Just chopping it up. Yes, Central Standard Time. We chop it up a little thicker. We might be maybe a little worse than what
I
we
be in
are
there
on
with
here,
no
but
shirt
we
on.
ain't deep
I be in there with no shirt.
time. Yeah.
Oh
Flex.
my.
Head down,
Okay,
no shirt,
we might have to cancel.
cutting up, cutting up. So come cut up with us.
Yeah,
Oh.
See a different side of
yeah, set up.
Mr. DJ.
Yeah, we got some topics coming up. It might be a little.
Uh-oh. Y'all show y'all want to do 5 o'clock? It don't have to be after dark.
I want everybody to get this work.
Okay.
At 5. Yes.
Okay.
So definitely tune in. But definitely check us out. Support all these platforms. I guarantee you will get something out of at least one of them. If you get
Mhm.
more than that, then consider yourself extra blessed. Because then
Yeah.
Amen.
you covering all the bases. So definitely check us out. But y'all stay safe. We know it is the 4th of July weekend. You know, it's about to be for those that got anxiety, little PTSD. We'll keep y'all in prayer because you know these folks is
Music
finna
on.
spend all their
They
good
finna
money.
beautiful.
Somebody probably
Mm-hmm.
ain't even paid their on the
Headphones
first, and it's
on.
the third.
Yeah.
They finna
I
buy
be,
all the
I be
fireworks
in early
that they can
under
pop.
the blanket.
Oh yeah. I thought about
Yeah.
going to the park. I'm like, child, please.
Go early so you can get home early.
Airport. I don't want to get caught in traffic or
Yeah.
the folk. People been
Y'all be
antsy here
No,
lately.
at all.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Be safe this
Yeah.
weekend. Be safe.
So-
Make good choices.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Be safe. Be blessed.
If you don't know how to pop fireworks, leave that to the people that do. Don't blow your fingers off or your
I
hand
like the
off or nothing like that.
sparklers. That was my thing.
You say the
Get them
sparkler.
sparklers.
Don't
All they
burn
do is
yourself with a
sparkle.
sparkler.
Well, if you got a Jerry curl,
Yeah.
you got all that product, you be like Michael Jackson, girl. Don't do it. Take your wig off before you start.
Take the wig off.
Woo! I'm not on that note. We out. It just went way.
Peace and love.
Lord, I just saw an image that I need to see. On that note, we are out. Y'all stay safe. Blessed. See y'all next week. That was horrible.